There are 3 problems I have using 360 cameras. The lenses stick out, and I scratch them. They don't tend to work well in low light, and editing can honestly feel like a hassle. The new X5 promises to make improvements in all of these areas, starting with the world's first, a user-replaceable lens. So whether you're deliberately destroying it for a YouTube intro, or, happen to actually be using it for what it's designed for, scratching it is no longer this big stressful event.
You think that's damaged enough?
You can replace the lens yourself in a few seconds with a kit that just costs $30. So I've been using this camera for over a month now, and I wanted to share with you some of the mistakes I'm hoping that you can learn from. And I also figured I should stick with the theme of first and attempt several firsts of my own. I can promise you'll see me do things with this camera that you have not seen done before. Let's travel back a month ago to my first time in Costa Rica and my initial days testing out this camera. Welcome to Costa Rica.
That's so awesome.
Yo, friend, we've got some important questions to answer across the next several days because we just flew to the most beautiful place in the world, and I need to find out, did my favorite action camera, the X4, just get a big improvement in the X5? And that's where I need your help as you're watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, what shots you think are working good, because I haven't even seen it yet, so you have more information than I do. I want to find out some answers on this trip. Let's get into things.
This is so rad.
For the first horseback ride in my life, let's test out the most common way I'll use this camera.
We just landed and immediately came down to the beach, and we're now on a horseback adventure, just exploring the ocean front.
I'm going to share most of these clips ungraded, straight out of camera, so you can get a sense of what it looks like by default. Alongside the release of the X5, they also overhauled the mobile editing experience, making it so much easier to get shots fast out of your camera. I'm going to walk you through some of that magic in a moment.
This is something that I always wanted to do as a kid. We did like some family reunion trips where we were camping next to the horses. And I remember spending like half the time watching the horses walk by and feeling like, man, it would be so cool to just be able to ride a horse and just go explore. And that's what we're doing right now. We're just exploring on horseback. I'm thrilled. 10 out of 10. First day, already worth it. Everything else from here on forward is just extra. You two look great. You look professional.
Thank you. I don't believe you, but thank you.
This was a great first test for me because this is the most common way I'm going to use the camera, simply putting it on a selfie stick and getting these impossible floating camera shots as I simply do an activity. We've got a lot more to address, but one of the surprising things I noticed immediately in these shots is how good the audio sounds. They upgraded the mics on the X5 with this new improved wind guard, so I want to encourage you to keep listening out for the sound.
Well, we are here in Costa Rica on assignment for Insta360 to capture visuals for the actual launch video. So even though we have a pretty intense schedule while we're here, I could not help myself with this camera in my hand to not also create this video, which is my first look into this new X5. And it's really important for me to be super clear. A first look video is not a review. I never do paid sponsored reviews. I never have on my channel. I never will.
Yeah, it's fascinating, like literally being the first people in the world using this camera in the field, because like we're just looking at the images on the back of the phone and being like, yeah, this like looks really great. But as with any new camera or piece of technology, like there's techniques and tricks that people find out for getting the best results out of it. And we are completely blind to those right now.
You're not doing any of that.
My mind is blown right now. I didn't know this was an option in life, that we could be doing horseback exploration at sunset on the beach. So many of my favorite things. So good.
Let's go.
So this is like the closest that you can get to just walking up to a shelf, buying one, and just starting to use it, because there is no experience guide, there is no tutorial, there is no, hey, use this mode because it's better than that mode. We are just finding it out as we go, and
honestly, I genuinely like that because there's this pressure sometimes where it feels like, oh, it's only worth using if it's in the exact correct settings. Now, 360, you just power it up and hit record.
Yeah, it's all about figuring it out later.
That's
What I like about those cameras is kind of just focus on doing the thing you want to do, not be focusing on the back of the camera while you're shooting, just kind of doing the thing you want to do and then figure it out in post.
All right, this is pure video. Sun just set. You look majestic.
Something that I have a little nervous anticipation for is really pushing this camera in low light scenarios.
Because it's one thing to actually hear features like the sensors are bigger, and then there's the completely other side of it of actually seeing how does that impact what it's like to actually use these cameras. Because I find so often on my personal adventures for travel, for getting out into the mountains, being with my daughter as she learns how to ride a bike for the first time, in all these special moments in my life, I love capturing memories. But I will say, if I use just like your traditional single lens action camera, I find I miss a lot of shots. I get totally wrapped up in the moment, and sometimes the camera's been pointing in the wrong direction for the entire time. Okay, I just found a really cool spot to show you the magic of 360 video. So this right here is the X5, and it is currently filming in every direction, which means if I load up the clips on my phone, all I've got to do is physically pan the phone and it will control where the camera sees after the fact in all directions. Oh, I want to look at me over here. Hi, good to see you. We can pan around. We can see Christoph over there on the tree. Like, this is why I get so excited about 360 video, because the opportunity, like, this is living in the future, right? We're doing James Cameron style camera moves from Avatar with just my phone, and that's pretty awesome. Come on, you don't think that's awesome? I think that's pretty awesome. There is absolutely some very notable upgrades they've snuck into this thing. The biggest being sensor related. But first, there's like some usability things that immediately, once I picked up this camera, I'm already starting to really like. The form factor of the X5 feels almost identical to the X4, except for two major things, and that is the quick release mount now attached to the bottom, where you can use the magnetic quick release attachment that we first saw with the Ace Pro is now on the bottom here. And that's fantastic, because often when you mount this camera, you want to be able to take it off and clean the lenses, change the settings. And if you have it on your head, you can't quite see it. So being able to just reach up and quickly take the camera off, put it in a pocket while you don't need it, bring it back out. Then we've got things like this L bracket. So you can now mount it sideways like this, which for helmet mounting, chest mounting, mouth mounting, all of these different ways of using it with the quick release, it's more than just fast, it's anti-rotation, which it's annoying when things kind of move with just a quarter in the bottom, the quarter thread. So being able to use an angle bracket like this.
The angle bracket helps keep the camera in a lower profile, which is really helpful for chest mounts, mouth mounts, chin mounts, head mounts, basically all the mounts. It's helpful to have options for which orientation you want it. I want to show you some mountain bike footage that I have some observations on for later, but another change in the X5 is upgraded USB-C port. So now you can fast charge up to 80% battery in just 20 minutes, which is really helpful in between the different activities that we're doing, because I basically never changed the battery. But we also get faster transfer speeds now with USB 3.1, and this is very, very welcome.
I'm gonna do some pretty intense torture testing to this camera at the end of this video, and I'm hoping that it survives. But by far and away, the coolest feature that I'm most excited for is this replaceable lens feature. And thankfully, there's a really awesome combo bundle with the replacement lens kit and the X5 in the description to the first 50 people who want to take advantage of that. So thank you, Insta360, for that awesome link. And if you are interested in learning about how to use these cameras, I have so much education around 360. I have an entire free PDF guide. We have a series of educational videos I'm making with Insta360. If you want to know when those come out, I've got a link for you. It's going to be a masterclass on how to get started with 360. I'm putting a lot of work into it, and I think you're going to find it really helpful.
Okay, here's the plan. We've got kayaks for a sunset paddle. I don't know exactly where we're gonna head, but there should be ample opportunity here to get some incredible shots. Man, this country is so beautiful.
We've been moving from activity to activity so fast that we haven't really had much time to actually like import and look at the footage, which is fine. But it's one of those things where when you look at the shots on the back of the camera, you're trying to guess like, okay, what's the quality like? Because you know this is the new camera, so you want to see how the shots are doing. You want to know, you want to play into its strengths and figure out where its limitations are, because you don't know what something's capable of unless you try to push it. So tonight, we're heading out for a sunset kayak, which normally alarm bells would be going off in my head where it's like, hey, if we lose light, 360 and low light really aren't ever said in the same sentence, but we're about to go do that. So we are going to find right now, what does pure video mean in the realm of 360? We haven't ever had that at our disposal before, that ability. We are, how many activities in? Like 5 or 6 activities?
God, I've lost track.
Take a look at all that gold around your eyes. I photograph my life to know I'm alive. I've been who I've forgotten in the night. Singing Jane, 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 where'd you go? Jane, 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 where'd you go? Control the way you're breathing. Take a likeness to the human. Imagine you're a poet without a pen. I fumble your affection as you walk into the bedroom.
Yo, that's pretty nuts.
Volcano. Volcano. That's so beautiful. It's like Hawaii.
Wow. I was like thinking through, I just don't actually have that much X4 footage in low light scenarios, because the reality is if it's dark in the trees and there's not a lot of light to work with, it's going to be noisy. So I don't even have examples in my own footage that I've recorded of really noisy X4 footage, because normally I just don't use it when I just see with my eyes, hey, it's dark. That tells me action cameras go away and I just use my other cameras, or I don't film at all. So this is like a different way of thinking, where we were at a sunset the other day at the beach, the sun goes down, and I just kept filming, which normally with an action camera, I would just never do that, because I know when I import that, it's gonna be this big, blocky, noisy mess. I don't know how enthusiastic to be yet, because I'm just looking at a phone preview. But the fact that it looks usable is already just a world ahead of not being able to capture anything at all. This low light stuff I'm very excited about. Yeah, I think the 10-bit conversation for me is still at the absolute top of my wish list. Like, that will always be something that I desire in every camera that I use. Man, I really want it. This is like my personal petition. I will keep asking, please, 10-bit. Wow. Good time of day for a drive.
What did you ask?
I'm asking about this one.
What did you ask?
Well, you know, to do this one with, you know, the hiking and no walking shoes, it's really a good combination, you know. Yesterday, if you were in my group, you are going to cry also.
Lola? What's the likelihood of my feet being bitten by snakes? How worried should I be?
How do you say, mating season of snakes?
Okay.
And yeah, we keep seeing a lot of vipers along the way.
So you're worried about my feet or no?
I'm worried about you, honestly. Not about the snakes, but I'm worried about you.
Oh, Sophia, won't you come on back? Won't you come on back? Oh, Sophia.
Look at the head. It looks like a cover.
Yes, I like it.
I'm at like 128,000 ISO on the Sony, so if you're getting stuff that's usable, that'll be impressive.
If we're just walking around the deck here, right now the shot on the X4 looks as static as a TV that is turned off with bunny ears that have no signal. The X5 looks usable. So the X4 gave me a warning on the screen that said, it is too dark, please switch to 5.7K mode. So I have, and I've left the X5 in pure video mode, and the pure video mode is also in 5.7K.
I like this example in this terrible lighting because it gives you a sense of what the two look like compared to each other, because that's the challenge with any low light test, is that it's hard for you to know how dark was it when you were actually there. And I've realized while editing this video that as impressed as I was with pure video initially, I've still been underestimating it. Here's some shots from my friends Jesse and John in Las Vegas. You should definitely be following those two, where they captured shots that I would never normally take out my camera, and they look great. So the use cases and ways to use these cameras is definitely expanding for me. To be honest, the most common way that I will benefit from this is scenarios when it's overcast in the rainforest that is British Columbia, and I want to film stuff in the trees. And now, this might just look like a normal mountain biking shot to you, and it should. But the reality is it's 2 hours from sunset, it's overcast, and it's dark. I can normally never get 360 shots in this environment that are even remotely usable, so I'm really pleased with this.
That is such a fun section.
So good, dude.
So we have Carol. Carol's our on-camera talent.
Hi.
Carol is also an Insta360 athlete / ambassador /
Everything.
We've been doing a lot of activities, but most of the activities, I mean, they're not really what you normally do.
No.
No, what do you normally do?
This is too normal. This is too basic for me.
Not enough adrenaline?
No, I'm just like, okay, nice.
You just use these cameras to capture things. You don't really care about the settings, the different modes.
No, I'm learning a lot with you guys, to be honest. I always learn with the different content creators.
But something you said that blew my mind is you said you don't even have a laptop. Carol, you don't have a laptop?
I don't have a computer.
Carol,
I don't have a laptop.
What? Okay, wait, no computer?
I don't. I know. It's bad.
So how do you edit your videos?
Can't. On my phone. Everything is on my phone.
After each adventure, you put the clips on your phone, edit it.
But if I'm traffic, I just go like, oh, boring, 30 minutes, wait, done, post. Let's say when I'm snowboarding is like one of my favorite type of, I don't know, examples. Let's say I get a run, okay, on the way up in the gondola, I'm editing, I'm doing something, and then I just show them how it works. And they go like, how? Who was recording this? I was like, I show you. It was me and the selfie stick. So they still don't understand that the camera disappears, the selfie stick disappears, and I don't need anyone else to film me.
You like post something and they say, oh, props to the cameraman. And you're like, it was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah, this happened once when I was jumping from a helicopter in Moab. And they go like, oh, the cameraman is flying. And I was like, there's no cameraman. It's just me holding the selfie stick and jumping.
Is there like a Dumb and Dumber reference we can make right now? Don't they ride a moped together?
Is that Dumb and Dumber?
I can get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog.
Can you pace next to us on the way over?
Filming with Christoph on this project has been an absolute blast, and now he promised me that he's going to be uploading more YouTube videos, and I highly recommend, for your benefit, follow him. In fact, most of the best shots that are in this video are actually captured by Christoph. Now, before we move on from the jet ski stuff, I just want you to listen for a moment. I have never captured footage moving at this speed where the audio was usable straight out of camera. In fact, normally, whenever I use these cameras, I do a fancy dual system recording thing.
Sync up this audio with this microphone.
And then I have to sync it up later. It's kind of this whole process. But in so much of this footage, I don't even need to use that audio. Now, it's when we were riding the quads where I made my first big mistake from the production, and that is never use a new tool on a job for the first time. I had this new random carbon selfie stick I've been trying out, which is longer and definitely not designed to be mounted to the front of a quad. And if you listen carefully in the audio, you can hear the carbon cracking slowly.
Oops. This is just so incredible. My face hurts from just smiling way too much. I'm here with great people. We're exploring, we're having fun. And honestly, I really needed a trip like this where I could just lose myself in activities. This trip just seems like we're just checking off all the boxes that 11-year-old Levi would just like think is the coolest thing in the world. Like I'm having way too much fun. So we have an off day from production, our first rest of the trip. And I decided, you know, we were getting coffee this morning and the baristas, they had these beautiful shoulder pieces. Like every one of the baristas had amazing tattoos. And I'm like, hey, like, is there a chance those were local? They're like, yeah, the guy's just down the street. I was like, well, does he take walk-ins? They're like, I don't know. Here's his WhatsApp. Go send him a message. So I did. And now 4 hours later, I've got a tattoo session booked. And I have no idea what I'm getting. But I'm fired up. Let's go see how this goes. I'm really looking forward to this.
Great to meet you. Alex, nice
Levi.
to meet you.
So I did confirm I was the first person to drive over an X5. I'm definitely the first person who time-lapsed a tattoo with the X5. I'm really happy with the end result, and I'm gonna have to make a video about the whole experience. Thank you so much, Alex. You are an incredible artist.
Climbing 500 stairs the day after you got the biggest leg tattoo of your life. Not recommended. My leg hurts. What a location, eh? What's been the MVP of the shoot? That thing! Always. I'm so glad I brought the F-pull on this trip. I almost didn't, but I had a hunch. A lot of these classic travel spots, more and more of this. No drones allowed. And honestly, coming to a really popular spot like this where there's a lot of people around and you start flying a drone around, that's not really my style. I don't like to do that. I don't like to disrupt other people's nature experience as little as possible. So having the F-pull, you still get stuff that feels like an aerial shot through the trees, through the branches, but you're just swinging a stick around.
I just got the craziest text sent to me by Christoph. Apparently he's like 5 minutes from being back here. He's here. I'm stoked to hear about this shot.
I was like driving to go get this shot. I see all the cars pulled over at the spot where they always are. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go see what they're looking at. I get out. I grab the F-full. I grab the X5. And I run over there. And I stick it on. I can see the sloth is like maybe 15, 16 feet up. And everyone's down there. I have footage of everyone like down here with their phones trying to zoom in on it. But you can't really see it. I popped the camera on the F-pull. Send it. He was like really curious. He like reached out with his little hook and grabbed it and like pulled the camera towards to like inspect it.
No way. Dude, no, get out of here.
So great.
Wait,
trip of first.
We've been all about first on this trip. First time crushing a camera, first time getting tattooed on an X5, first time with an X5 having a sloth get a selfie. I imagine his voice was like, hey there, bud, you've got a little smudge on your lens.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Let me get the little smudge for you.
You know what? This is the moral of this story, and I always say this to people, is like, you just got to go out and get, like, you can't plan that kind of stuff. Maybe 1 every 10 times out, like something crazy will happen, but all of the coolest shots I've ever shot have always been because I was just like, I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to go drive around or ride my one-wheel around, look for a shot and see what happens, and that's when the magic always happens.
Are you ready to rest? Our trip's almost over.
I'm ready to go home and look at all this footage.
Okay, it is now a month after my Costa Rica trip. I have an official production unit, and this feature, replacing the lens, literally is kind of a paradigm shifting moment for these cameras, purely because the lenses stick out unlike any other action camera. They're bulging away from the camera, and the first thing that contacts the ground, contacts the earth, is the lenses. And they scratch. And that's just been a reality. I have a graveyard of many action cameras I've had to replace. And so the introduction of these premium glass lens guards on the X4, that's what's in my hands here, little bubble shields, were my favorite thing about the X4, purely, again, for a more protective way to use the camera. The big downside is that this introduces some new
optical flare issues where it kind of distorts the image, especially in sunlight. If you then scratch this at all, that shows up even more. So there's kind of pros and cons to this style of system. And now with the X5, we can still put this style premium lens guard actually on top of it. However, we can now replace the entire lens, user replaceable, for $29 American. It seems almost too good to be true that we can simply just replace it. So that's what I'm gonna do here on camera for this first time and actually show you what that's like. I think we just grind right on it. I think that is well and truly broken. Instructions. You've got a replacement lens. You've got air, brush. That's crazy. That's pretty rad. Well, here we are at the end of the video. I would love to know, what do you think about what you've seen from the X5? Is this interesting to you? Is there things you want to know more about? I'm going to be working on an accessory mounting guide for this, a whole video showing you the best ways to mount this for adventure storytelling. My personal takeaway, I'm really excited. I use these cameras so much in the adventure videos that I make, and I scratch them a lot. As someone who loves right to repair, I'm fired up about that. I don't like sending stuff in to get fixed. So being able to do that ourselves is a serious 2 thumbs up, and that's without even getting to the low light capabilities where we can now use these cameras in new contexts that I previously never considered before. So this is exciting times for 360 video, and let me know what you want to see from these cameras next. Remember, life's better when you make stuff. Peace.